In a previous video, we've looked at the geolocation APIs in Xamarin.Essentials, which basically allows you to track a user's device with, the GPS chip and a couple of other things. In this video, we're going to look at the geocoder API. So what that lets you do is turn those GPS coordinates into an address, or the other way around. If you have an address, you can turn that into GPS coordinates. So let's see how that works. So to not distract you with any other stuff, I'm just going to use a file new project Xamarin.Forms application. You can see it here running on the right on a iOS simulator. So if you do that right now in the templates, the Xamarin.Essentials package will be installed right out of the box. Here you can see it. And if you do not have this installed, you can just install it as a NuGet package. You probably want to check the getting started documentation on that, but that should be pretty simple. So the geocoding functionality is available on UWP, iOS, and Android. On iOS and Android, you don't need to do anything. It will just work out of the box. For UWP, you have to request a Bing API key, and you have to add that to the geocoding APIs first. Check out the documentation that is linked on how to do that. Now here, let's get started with this sample. So I'm just going to remove these labels for now. We're going to update the title to geocoding sample, save that, and we should see that updating. Okay, great. Let me just add an entry here that will take our coordinates or our address. I'm going to give that a name. So let's just name that entry or something. And actually, let's add a little bit of a margin so we can see that coming up here as well. Let's add a label so we can show the actual result. So let's name that result location. There we go. And we should have two buttons that will allow us to trigger some things. So let's make that geocode and a clicked handler. Whoops. Clicked, there we go, new one, and another one with reverse geocode. So basically geocode is going from an address to coordinates, and reverse geocode is going from coordinates to an address. So let's make this new event handler. There we go. So now we have our buttons, a label, you can see it, and an entry. So we can set this up this way. We can trigger it. It doesn't do anything right now. But let's go to our code behind and implement some code. So it didn't actually set up the event handler for the other button. So let's do that right now. And we're going to just use the geocoding class right here, which is inside of Xamarin.Essentials. So it doesn't know this right now. You want to use this using statement right here. Let IntelliSense solve that, or you can add it manually. So here we go, then it lights up, and you can see it only has two methods basically, which is the get locations async, so that's getting the coordinates from an address, and the other way around, so the the reverse geocoding, the get place marks async. So let's go with the locations one first. And this takes an address, and we're going to use our entry for that. So we're just going to say entry.text, and we're going to put this into a result. Actually, it's async, so we have to await this and make this async as well. And you will see that the result is an IEnumerable of, in this case, a location. So the location is a shared object, which is also used in the geolocation APIs and maybe some others. So we're going to have to pick the right location from this. I'm not exactly sure how you would pick like the best location from this, if it's going to be like the first result, or you have to look at the accuracy or something. But we're just going to go with the first one right here. Actually, you also want to wrap this into a try-catch block probably, which is in the documentation. So if this functionality is not supported on a platform, or maybe I don't know, the user has blocked it for some reason, you want to do the featured not supported exception. So then it's not supported on this device, and we know that, and we can handle that accordingly. Or you can of course just handle the exception that not supported. The general exception to do other things, maybe other things might fail as well. Exception, here we go, and we can do the just the other exceptions as well too. So there we go. Now let's find those results. So we are going to put those in the result location.text is actually, let's check if we actually have a result. So if result.any, so we check if we have an actual result, and we're going to say result location.text is going to be the first one. So this is going to be result first or default, just to be sure. And here you see all the properties of the location. So what we're interested in right now is the latitude and longitude to just get the coordinates, but you can do some other things here as well. But let's put this actually in a string interpolation format here. So let's just do this, lat, long, and copy and paste this one. There we go, longitude, and do this. Okay, so this part should be done actually. Let's just move on to the other one so we can see it all in one go. And that's going to be a little bit more difficult because it's going to be like the coordinates thing. So, you know, I'm just gonna copy and paste all of this. But now what we want to do is add async to this as well. And we're going to say get place marks async. But we have to do something with the text because, yeah, I'm just gonna enter the coordinates in here in one text box. So let's just do lat long. There we go. Whoops. Can't use long. That's a reserved keyword. So there we go. And lat is going to be our entry.text.split. We're going to split it on the comma, so we're having a very strict format here. And we're going to use the first result from that. And we're going to do that same thing, but now we're going to do it for the second part after the comma, and that's going to be the long. So we're going to be strict about this formatting. So, you know, if you were to do this in a production application, then you probably want to do this differently, a little bit less error prone. And these are now strings. So we should also convert these to actually, what does this want to have? Either a location, or you can use the doubles for the lat and long directly. So let's just actually make this just doubles and not do this. And we're going to convert these, whoops. We're going to convert these to doubles. So convert to double. So, you know, again, you want to add a little bit more error handling here and make sure that people are actually entering coordinates. But for now, this will do the trick. And we can say lat long, there we go. And now, this is also an IEnumerable with the results. So we're still going to do this, but now we're going to say the result location.text is going to be result first or default. And this has a couple of different properties. So depending on the location where you are, not everything might be filled, but you can see the location, the feature name. So that's probably going to be the name of the thing that we're going to see, the country name, the country in which this location is. What's this location thing here? Oh, that's the actual location object. And you have the postal code. So lots of things in here that you can use. So inspect the values that are in here to see what is right for you. And again, you have to realize that, yeah, you know, not everything might be filled depending on where the location is going to be. So I'm going to go with the feature name. I'm going to guess that that is going to be some kind of name of something. And actually, I think we're complete here. So let's just restart this application because I changed some code and that's not part of hot reload. So let's see what's going to happen when we do this. So here's our application now, and now the buttons should do something useful. So first we're going to geocode, so do an address to coordinate. So let's see if we do Microsoft building 25 in Redmond, WA, USA, and push geocode. Now it should give us the coordinates. So here you can see 48 by minus 118. Well, I'm going to assume that is correct. Maybe I should add a map control to actually check if this is the correct value, but at least it seems to do something, so that's pretty cool. Now if we were to remove this, get this out, and I'm going to put in the coordinates 37, 16, minus 122.0301, and do the reverse geocode. And that's going to be the Apple campus. See, so because this is iOS, I thought it would be nice to find the Apple campus. So here we go. And yeah, so the reverse geocoding works as well. Let's see if it actually gets more results whenever we put in a breakpoint here. That's going to be interesting. Result is going to be, no, it's just 1 in this case. So you can see there's a lot of other properties in here. So it's in California, it's in the US, it's the feature name is the Apple campus in the place of Cupertino. So there's a couple of things in here that are very nice and very handy to use. So that's pretty cool. And that's how easy it is to use the geocoding APIs. As you might have noticed, I've also shown this in a previous video. There's probably going to be a video maybe on how to do it. If you have the location, so this result first or default is going to be a location here, and you can also determine like the distance between two locations. So you can take this location as the base, and then you can say calculate distance, and you can say latitude, longitude of the place that you want to do the distance with, and also the units that you want to specify it in, and yeah, you will get the distance between those 2 points. So that's very cool as well if you're going to work with these location kind of things. That's how easy it to use, and I hope you will find some good use for it and make your applications just a little bit better. There's probably plenty of use cases that you can come up with to do this. So if you're writing maybe a navigation kind of software, or I don't know, some unloading or loading of trucks, I don't know, just some things that come to mind. This comes in very handy. If you've liked this video, if you want to see more on Xamarin, Xamarin.Essentials, there's a lot more to come also outside of the Xamarin space. So please subscribe to my channel if this is what you like this video, leave a comment with what you want to see so I can put that on a list, and I'll be happy to see you for my next video.